right. Well, welcome back, Matt Fitzpatrick. We just made a great announcement here about new venues for the BMW Championship, moving to Caves Valley in 2025 and Belle Reve in 2026. But coming back to this week at Wilmington, I just wanted to ask you, have you had any experience here? And if not, what do you know about this golf course? Have you done any research coming into the BMW Championship this week?
No, I don't really know anything. I just kind of looked at the yardage book last night. Billy walked the golf course yesterday. Gave me a little bit of feedback, but on the whole, I don't really know anything. Just looking forward to seeing it this morning.
Well, you're coming in here off a nice performance this year and particularly last week, a T5 at the Memphis event and the first playoffs event. But you've had a great season, winning the US Open, but you've also had 10 top 10s, which currently is the most of the season, tied with JT. What is it about this season that's the difference maker for you from previous seasons?
I think we just spent a lot of time in the off season sort of making quite a few changes. Changed obviously my grip for my chipping. That's been a huge change that's paid off, and then also just my approach play. I would say basically made a swing change with my approach play, and that's just meant that my irons have been much more consistent, allowed me to hit it closer, less poor shots, and taking advantage of it.
All right, we'll take questions.
This is old news. We're not going to talk about the golf course right now, apparently, Matt. Your speed has had a lot of focus in the last couple of years, and it made me wonder what inspired you to go after that, and what kind of level of fitness did you focus on from boys? I'm sure you always kept fit, but did you take it to a different level, and what got you to thinking that way?
Yeah, I mean, the speed thing, like I've known it for a long time that I needed to, it was always something we're trying to improve on. How we went about it was kind of, we never really had a clear plan as we have done now. So it was kind of getting better just because I was maturing and getting stronger just generally, but it wasn't, improving fast. This year I feel like it kind of something just clicked and it improved really fast. I've been working on using the stack since end of 2020, so it's been thereabouts. I sort of had an off period in the summer last year, and coincidentally my driving literally went down. Not only hit it shorter again, but my performance, I wasn't hitting it straight either, so then got back on it, started hitting it better, so that was a big thing. And then in terms of the gym stuff, I hired my trainer Matt Roberts in 2000, I think first season that we worked together was 2018, and since then, like, the big thing that I've felt whilst training with him is I just felt more athletic, just generically strong, rather than, we don't really do golf specific stuff. It's it's just about being strong and being able to obviously be strong enough to cope with the speed that you're going through, and sort of we built a really good foundation, if you like, in the off season last year. From December all the way through to January, I had the whole of January off. It gave me 4 really good weeks to sort of make some progress and get stronger, and basically, like I say, build the foundation for the rest of the season.
What if you go back to amateur and when you first started to turn pro, what was your priority, I guess, on fitness, overall fitness?
Yeah, it was in the background. It was there, but the important thing was always hitting it straight. And hitting good shots, making the putts. That was always the sort of priority over the fitness, and that still is. But I think the way I look at it now is it's just important to be strong, to avoid injury, and to be able to cope with the demands that you need. Whether it's, Billy was telling me yesterday, this place is a bit of a slog to walk. It's quite hilly, so it's things like that. Last week was short and pretty flat by all accounts, so it's been able to be robust all year round, basically, and be able to manage that.
Matt, you mentioned Billy a couple of times here already. What sort of impact has he had on your game and your career since you had him as your caddy?
Yeah, he's been great. His experience on the bag that has been invaluable. The experiences that he's had with other players over the years, and then what he's brought to my game, I felt like he's just made everything more simple. It's, I've worked with people before where we kind of like in between clubs, and whereas Billy's just like, it's a 7-iron, go, and I think that's been the big thing, is just having the clarity and the commitment, and I think that's been a big thing.
Yes, sir.
And Matt, how does your thought process change, if at all, when you're in the playoffs and knowing each week might be your last if you don't qualify for the following week?
Fortunately this year I've been guaranteed in from the start, so that was quite nice compared to last year and the year before. But I think it's a tough one. I just, for me, the playoffs, you can play pretty decent and you can miss out on this week, or you can miss out on next week, and you've probably been a little bit hard done to by how you've played the rest of the season. And I feel I'm like a little bit uneasy with that. I think like if you've played well all year, you deserve to be, kind of at the top, or where you deserve to be. I think the playoffs can kind of throw that out a little bit, which is a little odd to me.
Kind of as a follow-up, last year, 3 of the top 6 guys who finished at the BMW are not here this year. I mean, how do you look at the field with some of the best players obviously not here this week at LIV? Yeah, it's still a incredibly fantastic field. The field this week is 70 of the best players in the world, and I think to only 3 of them that aren't here, it's not a massive loss in my opinion. And is the last one on the LIV, is how much of a distraction is that? I know kind of week to week you guys have to answer questions about it. Just do you block it out, or kind of how do you approach that? I'll
be honest, I've not been asked much about it myself personally, so it's been fine. For me, it's just seeing it in the media and stuff. It's you just get fed up with talking about it. Like in my personal opinion, it's like, right, let's just get on with it now. We just want to play golf and concentrate on what you're doing. It's that's purely my take on that. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben. No, go ahead.
I'm late, mate. Sorry for that. But I just wanted you to quantify, when we come to a new course that we haven't played at all, how easy or not easy it is for you guys as top-level elite golfers to pick it up in the 2 days that you practice.
I think it varies. I've played golf courses that I've not played before and had good results, and likewise around golf courses and had bad ones. So I wouldn't really say. To me, it goes back to whether it suits your eye, whether it suits your game. This golf course is probably going to suit certain people over others this week, and I've not played it yet, so I don't know who. But I think for me, the golf courses that I've played blind before and done well around, I look back and there's not really many holes that sort of intimidate me, or I feel uncomfortable on, and I think that's a big factor. Is is just how you see the shots on the golf course and how you feel over it as to whether you're going to play well or not.
I'm on a 2-week stretch of being totally unprepared of the questions I'm asking, so bear with me. But
sounds it.
Off the top of my head, it seems like there was a couple years where you were close to tour membership, and either something went wrong or you just came short. Am I correct on that memory?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, 17 and 18 probably. Yeah.
What happened?
I didn't have Billy on the bag.
What else happened?
No, I think
just short on the non-member points, or
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't remember it exactly, but I think for me, sort of back then, like my game was obviously very different. I was probably more inconsistent. Obviously, not as long. I think just the way that I probably came over and playing with guys thinking, wow, like this guy's so much better than me, and then all of a sudden you play more out here and you start feeling more comfortable and you start feeling, well, okay, I can beat him, or I feel like I'm a better player than him, and that was a big thing. What I found in Europe, probably way faster than being over here, is just playing with guys, seeing how their games stack up against mine, and thinking, well, actually, no, I feel like I can beat him, and then you get comfortable. You have better results, and you're not as worried about people around you that might be chasing you or whatever. And I think that's been the big thing. All of a sudden, kind of having Billy on the back gave me that boost as well. Yeah. As well as his knowledge and everything.
So if you turn the clock back 4 or 5 years, and the way the new world ranking is going to be going, do you think it's going to be easier for someone in Europe to come over here through the not through the ranking obviously, but through the 10 cards that are available from the European Tour points list?
Yeah, that's probably that's going to be the easiest way to get over here.
You would have been here sooner probably if they had that, I would think.
Yeah, I would have been. Yeah, I would have been here in 2015.
Sooner, yeah.
2016, should I say? But I think it's an odd one. I don't. A lot of people saying that the point system was biased to European Tour, certain tours. I think it was biased to every tour. There was always events that were probably overweighted. But I do think that if you look back before COVID, you're playing events in Europe, your Wentworth, your Abu Dhabi, Dubai, you got the DP World, the big events, and the big boys came and played. So I don't really think that those big events were still getting good players. So I don't think that was is a great argument that there's, all right, some of them that are, I'm not going to name them, but some events that were lower and did have the minimum, then okay, there's a couple, but even that, the minimum's not really massive enough to make a big jump anyway. So,
did you play any of those without naming them?
I played plenty, yeah, played plenty.
You didn't look at your world ranking after it?
I did, yeah. I remember having the top 10 somewhere and not really moving up the world ranking at all. Yeah.
Kevin, I don't know how much you've paid attention to the new system, but can you see a time in the near future where nobody outside the top, I don't know, maybe 75 or beyond, is playing it is not a full member of the U.S. Tour?
Yeah, I mean, you could see that, yeah, for sure. I think for me the system. It's interesting. Obviously, it's going more down the strokes gain model. I think that's the only way to do it. I just think, part of me thinks that the FedEx Cup kind of needs to do the same thing in terms of the points that are dished out to the winners. It goes on the strokes gained against the other guys, and you have your baselines and stuff like that. Because I think you look at the PGA Tour, you look at the DP World Tour, both of them have events that maybe don't necessarily have the best fields, but they're getting the same amount of points as other big events that do have big players playing. So I think it's always a work in progress, and it's obviously taken a long time to kind of redo this new world ranking system, and I'm sure it's going to be changing even more over the next few years just to try and tweak it, always make it better.
New as you are to this, is there any part that's hard to accept that if Sepp had won last week, he would have gone to, I think, 2 from starting at around 41 or 42 after this big year that Scotty's had, etc. Can you accept that okay?
It's funny. My coach literally texted me that exact scenario. He said he can't believe that he's ahead of me.
He's 8, that's right, yeah.
And I can accept it because I've had a great season, and my reply was that I won the US Open, so I'm fine. I'm happy. That's fine. But it is difficult. In my personal opinion, I think I was laughing last year at the scenario that Colin had such a fantastic season, and he finished outside the top 20 or something on the FedEx. So, yeah. And to me, that's unfair. And then likewise this year, Scotty's won 4 times, Cam's won 3 times, and those 7 events aren't small events. They're some of the best events in the world, and they're behind Will now. And again, not taking it away from Will, but I just think it's a bit too much. Those, in my opinion, those two should be kind of running away with it, and it's kind of a 2-horse race. and now there's more people in the mix, which I get. That's the whole point. The playoffs, it's exciting, but as a player, when you've worked hard all season to then not be rewarded for the whole season performance, it's a tough one.
So one more actually, because I think it was Cantlay, obviously not last year. I think it was the year before. He went into Atlanta probably 2 or 3 in the ranking, threw in an absolute stinker over 4 days, and walked out of there in 26th place with whatever money that's associated with. You should talk to him about it. He's not very happy still, but is that fair, do you think, based on the way they reset and it's one big tournament at the end, that if you just have your worst week of the year, it's costing you a lot of money?
No, I don't think it's fair. No, I don't think it's fair. But life isn't fair. So, But, no, I think listen, I get why it's been done. It's done to make it more exciting, throw people in the mix a little bit more. But in terms of, people who deserve what their performances showed all year long, I think, like you say, there's 2-3 examples now that haven't been rewarded for their play the whole season.
Yeah, before you leave,
you
Matt,
did well for not prepping.
Just on a different subject, but Ben's question a little bit, and you might not be able to answer this until you've played the golf course, but knowing that pretty much 99% of the field have not played this course in a tournament, and you haven't played it yet, do you feel like it's an advantage coming to a venue where nobody's played? Do you look at that as an advantage from your perspective, or do you have to decide that? Yeah,
a little bit. I feel like I do my homework more than most. So I definitely feel like that is a little bit of an advantage, yeah. It's kind of always interesting to see how the holes play, even in practice if you're playing with guys, okay, what's he hitting there, what are they hitting, kind of looking around. And but yeah, I definitely feel like, like I say, I do my sort of work a bit more than most, so it's definitely feel maybe I've got a little bit of an edge, yeah.
Better preparation. Well, Matt, thanks for joining us, and I appreciate the time you've made for